G'day everyone, it's Courtesy and welcome to an On The Back Wheel video. Today, I'm going to talk about the 5 best budget adventure bikes you can buy today. I've split them up into different categories to give a wide variety of choices. Now, I know there are some bikes out there that you can make into fantastic adventure bikes, but for this video, it's going to be bikes that are made for adventure riding and that require minimal mods. If you are on a budget, you don't want to buy a bike and then spend a ton of money on mods. And before we get into it, guys, make sure you click that subscribe button. It helps create more content like this. Let's get stuck in. Let's start off with the cheap option and what is fast becoming a modern classic, the Royal Enfield Himalayan. At $8,300 right away, it's bloody cheap, but boy, is it reliable, and these things go pretty well anywhere. On paper, the Himalayan doesn't have a lot going for it. It isn't light, there's only 24 horsepower and bugger all suspension travel, but you can't judge a bike on paper alone. The 411cc single has a broad torque curve and the engine chugs along nicely from low revs. The design of the bike means it doesn't get damaged easily in crashes, there is a ton of space for luggage, reliability is fantastic, and it's comfortable on longer trips. The bike is limited in on and off-road ability, but if you are willing to take things slowly, this bike will get you there, and it's surprisingly capable. Plus, it is bloody cheap. Next is my lightweight option and small capacity choice, the Honda CRF 300 Rally. This bike is such a great option at the moment and pretty much in a category all to itself. At $10,400 right away in Australia, the CRF is priced well and with some minor mods is one of the most off-road capable adventure bikes out there. The little thumper certainly is no powerhouse, but very smooth. It definitely benefits from an exhaust and tune to liven things up. The 6-speed transmission has a short first gear that's good for off-road riding, but top gear also cruises great on the open road. At 152 kilograms, the weight is very manageable and easy to pick up by yourself. And on a personal note, I think it looks fantastic. I know a lot of people don't care about looks, but this is a nice looking bike. The suspension is budget and does need work, but thankfully it's an easy fix. And add in a good set of handguards and you're pretty well ready to rock. My third choice and mid-size pick is something a lot of people on this channel are going to be familiar with, the Kawasaki KLR 650. The latest KLR has been a massive hit since its update in 2021. While the base is essentially the same as it's always been, there have been some pretty major changes, including EFI, an updated subframe, a fairing redesign, and a fair few minor changes. This is just a proper all-rounder, and in a world where motorcycles are starting to get more and more expensive, the KLR is fantastic value. The standard model starts at $10,800 right away, and the adventure model is $11,800. The vulnerable 652cc motor puts out roughly 40 horsepower and has a really flat torque curve. The 23-litre fuel tank gives a large fuel range and there is ample room to strap on luggage for those bigger trips. One of the great things I've found with the KLR is you can do a lot of mods yourself for cheap and that saves you a ton of money. She isn't perfect though, weight has gone up significantly this generation, the fairing is vulnerable to damage, it could use more power, and you still need to do the normal adventure mods like add handguards, a bash plate, and decent foot pegs. Overall though, the Kawasaki is great value. I've done a full series on this bike, so if you're interested, make sure you check that out. My next choice is what I call the baby GS, the Benelli TRK 502X. Why is it the baby GS? I mean, just look at it. It's basically a 499cc version of BMW's classic. Like the GS, the Trek is more suited to big kilometers on the road and basic off-road work. The engine is a twin, which sounds really cool by the way, putting out 47 horsepower coupled with a 6-speed transmission. You're getting spoked wheels with a 19-inch front and 17-inch rear, a large windscreen, center stand, 12-volt socket, crash bars, and a comfortable riding position. So in other words, the Trek has all the gear and is great value for money. Where it is let down is with a lack of suspension travel, and it is very heavy for a 500. The bike is retailing for $10,600 right away here in Australia. bloody good value, and a real point of difference motorcycle. My last choice is the premium budget option, the CF Moto 800 MT Touring. This is definitely more expensive than the other bikes I've mentioned, but for what you're getting, it is much cheaper than its opposition. And more importantly, this is a good bike. The MT Touring has the same 95 horsepower engine as the KTM 790, but the rest of the bike is completely different. You're getting a ton of features, including multiple riding modes, a nice TFT dash that has Bluetooth, cruise control, crash bars, fog lights, an adjustable screen, adjustable suspension, heated grips, heated seat, and a quick shifter. This is a ridiculously well kitted out machine. On the street, the CF Moto is easy to ride with a nice motor, and with a set of decent tires, it's no slouch off-road either. I really enjoyed my time with this bike, and from what I'm hearing, the complaints I had about the fueling have been fixed and reliability has been great. You can pick up the CF Moto 800 MT Touring for $14,500 right away. That is a lot of bike for the money. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 budget adventure bike picks. What are your choices? What do you think are the best budget adventure bikes? Put them in the comments down below. I already know some of the bikes people are going to say, but I didn't choose them because I think these are better bikes. Anyways, if you haven't, make sure you click the subscribe button, put your picks down below, and keep it on the back wheel, everyone. Catch us.